Week 8 of college football. Super excited to be getting into this. We do have a bit of a big week this week that I'm pretty excited about. I think that last week was obviously a big week of college football, is the one that everyone kind of talked about. This week, though, has some really great matchups for us, including a Georgia-Texas game that we don't have a pick for because, to be quite honest,
I had a pick for it earlier this week, and then the line moved.
yeah.
But I am all over Texas on this one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the way that Texas looked, I do like that. I don't love the line. So there we go. We talked about it. The biggest game of the week.
It was at 3 earlier this week, and I was like, yeah, I'm hammering this. But Georgia just has too many holes in it, man. It's painful seeing them in the top 5 as bad as they have looked.
Yeah, absolutely. This college football playoff world is wild, and it's going to get really wild as we go a little deeper here. But let's dive right in. I can't believe Alabama is still ranked number 7, with other one-loss teams ranked lower. But you do have a pick for this Alabama-Tennessee game, so why don't you give us that first?
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama on the money line. You can get it at -142. We were all over Tennessee to start this year, and then once they entered conference play, they kind of slowed down a little bit, and that's continued.
Yes.
It's been 3 straight games. They haven't put up more than 345 yards, and that was against Florida, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Like, yes, Oklahoma's got a great defense. Arkansas and Florida, I mean, they're not, terrible, but it's not like you're rocking a top 25 defense there. In that time, they've only scored 25 points, over 25 points once without needing overtime. Ian Maliava hasn't thrown for over 200 yards since week 2.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Right? Like, it's wild. They're very one-dimensional with Dylan Sampson right now. He's averaging 235 yards a game, but Bama's only allowing 3.3 yards per carry. So I just think Bama's the better team here. I think I think Tennessee is still riding a little bit of that early season firepower with the rankings and the lines right now. So give me Bama on the money line here.
I agree. Tennessee's been dragging, man. I've lost some money on Tennessee this year on.
We all have.
Everyone has. Like, maybe they pick it up though. Maybe they pick it up. I hope. I hope we're not wrong this week, but I hope we're wrong about Tennessee as a whole, because I'd much rather see them come out of the SEC. Well, sorry, than Georgia or Alabama, but you obviously would not prefer that.
Yeah, no offense taken, but I strongly disagree.
Perfect. I'm going to take us over. I'm going to talk about some Mountain West games, then we'll talk about a game that you want to that we both agree on for a pick. But I'm going back to these UNM Lobos. I talked about it last week. Like, this team could make a bowl game. I couldn't find a bet for them to make a bowl game. I was really hoping for it. They're a 1-4 team going into last week. Totally covered against Air Force. They are going into Utah State, who is a terrible team, absolutely terrible team. And I'm going to take UNM -2. Give me the Lobos, and probably to keep winning this year, honestly. There might be a game I don't pick them, like against Colorado State or something. But if you had to guess, not knowing as much about the Mountain West, what do you think the total on this game is?
Oh, God. I mean, you've got crazy offense out of the Lobos and a really bad team with Utah State. I don't know, 60?
It is 78.5.
Holy crap.
I don't know. I'm only bringing it up because I don't know if I've ever seen a total actually put at 78.5. That is
insane.
I kind of want to just bet on it because it's historic. Like, it's got to be one of the highest totals ever set. Like, that's absolutely insane. That's it. Yeah, we love Bronco on this show. I took us over to the Mountain West. Got away from some big time football though. So, cool. I do agree. We have a pick. I'm going to let you talk about it first, but we both agree that Indiana -6.5 is the way to go against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And because I'm a Nebraska hater, I'm going to let you talk about it so I don't seem as much like a hater.
We can all hate Nebraska. It's okay. Man, I just think Indiana is playing really good football right now on both sides of the ball. They are, let's see, offensively, they're top 11 in points per game, yards per game, and points per play. And defensively, they're in the top 20 on the same metrics. Like, that is just a very strong, well-rounded football team. Nebraska is hands down going to be the best defense that they've played this year. But to me, like Raiola, he's looked really good against zone coverage all year. Like his completion
Yep.
percentage drops like 30% when you look at him zone versus man. And Indiana does play a lot of man coverage, but he crumbles whenever he is being pressured. And Indiana has like the top 20 pressure rate in causing havoc this year. So I think Indiana
Love
brings a
that.
lot of pressure. As good as these two teams are, I think it's a close game. But -6.5 with just a much better team against the quarterback that can't handle pressure. I just think they pull away late here.
I almost called him the James Madison coach, but it's Indiana coach who came from James Madison. Anyways, I loved his quote 2 weeks ago. He goes, "Google me, all I do is win."
I'll win.
And absolutely correct. Like absolutely correct. Hasn't proven us wrong yet. Indiana is the better team here. All right,
The
I'm gonna take a
other
oh, go
piece
ahead.
that I left off there, Nebraska, 132nd in field goal conversions right now.
That's
Their
crazy.
kicker is injured, and the new guy is 1-5 since taking over. And with
Dang.
that, they only convert third downs 50% of the time and 109th in red zone scoring. They're not going to score enough points.
I'm gonna look at some field goal props for this game.
Absolutely.
Some field goal unders, although I'm sure the books are on that. All right, I'm going to take us back to the Mountain West, the Mountain Less, as most of us refer it to out here. Colorado State is going to Air Force. This is about a, I don't know, hour and a half drive for CSU. They're -7 at Air Force, so I'm going to take Colorado State -7. They looked pretty good against Oregon State, actually, much to my chagrin. Honestly, the same reasons why I picked UNM last week against Air Force. Air Force is bad, and we make money betting against bad teams, and this is a small spread for that. Air Force's closest loss this year, and don't even look at the win doesn't even count. You don't even know who the school is that they beat. Trust me, I already forgot, and I looked at it right before the
I
show.
got to look now.
Yeah, Air Force's closest loss this year is 10 points against San Jose State University, home or away. My only
Jesus.
hesitation here is Norvell, CSU's coach, is garbage against their rivals, like in-state opponents like CU, Air Force, Wyoming. So that's my only thing with this one to be careful at. At the same time, Air Force is just bad. They haven't come the closest they've come is 10 points, and I don't think CSU is the worst team they've played. So it feels like a really solid one for me just to continue to bet against Air Force this year.
I like it. Merrimack. Merrimack is the team. And you are
Merrimack,
correct.
there it
I have
is.
never heard of them.
Exactly.
They have now only won, I think it was one game too, against teams that we've also never heard of. So,
Yep, I was right. So we got a couple picks for you left that I don't know if I fully agree on the second one, but let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about Kansas State first at West Virginia and your pick there.
yeah, man, big game in the Big 12. You got two one-loss teams trying to stay alive in a wide open conference. West Virginia's coming off a loss against Iowa State at home, and I think they lose again this week. K-State, they're just really freaking good at running the ball. You guys saw that at Colorado last week. And I think that passing game, Avery Johnson, I think is actually improving a little bit. West Virginia defensively is not doing great against the run. And so I just think K-State comes out strong. I think they run the ball well and then throw the ball as needed. If the game starts to get out of hand, they can throw the ball and catch up. West Virginia cannot do that. They can't throw the ball to save their life right now. They also only want to run the ball, but I just think K-State's the better team on both sides of the ball. I think they pull away late as well. I think -3 is pretty easy on this one, in my opinion.
And if West Virginia starts to get some momentum, K-State, I think, is leading the country at faking injuries to make sure that the team doesn't get too much. Hey, that was just what I observed. That's
actually, that is Ole Miss. That has been statistically proven. So
the stadium was booing. There were 4 injuries in a row, and we were booing. Anyways,
it was so hard to watch it because they're playing at elevation for the first time, cramping like crazy.
I'm sure they were. Of course. Like they're not actually. You don't fake 4 in a row to stop momentum. Like that's silly. Right. But we were just like CU fans are terrible, and we were just raining it down on them. I just want chaos in the Big 12, so I want West Virginia to win. But I think your pick's probably right.
I mean, either way, each team has 2 losses at that point, so it's like from a chaos standpoint, it's kind
Yeah.
of a win-win.
Yeah, it's true. All right, last but not least, I don't agree with you on this one, but I didn't have a strong opinion, so we're going with your pick, Miami at Louisville.
Miami -4.
Yep.
Man, 2 weeks ago, I was feeling really good and looking ahead, taking Louisville in this game, especially on the money line at plus money. Um, but I think Miami pulls away. A lot of this has to do with the fact that Cam Ward is a freaking stud, and they're coming off of a bye, and they have rest, and Louisville does not. The game
Yep.
against Cal, like we've all seen the metrics of the percentages of teams traveling across 2 time zones. And so it kind of makes sense
Oh,
that
that's
they were
crazy.
catching up in the first half there, and the second half, Cam Ward just showed up and took off. So I think they're just the most athletic team coming off a bye week here. They also have the most to play for. I mean, they're still trying to make a push for that ACC title game.
Yep.
And I think they feel like they lost the last 2 games and still have a lot left to prove. And so I think Jakim Ward just kind of shows up, puts the team on his back, and gets this one done at -4.
Nice. I don't have any great data for you to counter argue you. I will just the only thing I have is they have not covered this number the last 2 games. Oh, sorry, we got -4 though. They covered it once. They pushed once. I saw it at 4.5. So, anyways, they haven't won this bet the last 2 games as the spread sits. And look, man, Mario Cristobal can't go undefeated. I don't think it's in his nature. Like it's against his like genetic code. And I don't see a lot of losses after this. So I just feel like it has to happen.
Gotta
I
happen
don't have like
somewhere.
the deep
It's just
analytics for
destiny.
you. Like it's just against Cristobal's nature to like actually perform to the standard that's expected. So
I love it. I will
that's
say
it.
Louisville's defense, 3 of the last 4 quarterbacks out of the Power 4 that they've played has thrown for over 275 yards, and
Oh,
none
really?
of them have been close to Cam Ward. So I think he tears them apart.
I'm gonna be doing some underdog lineups with Cam Ward in it then
Absolutely.
this weekend. All right, you have made it to the part of the show where we do a quick summary of our week 8 college football picks. Before we do, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever you get your podcasts. Hit all the positive buttons like subscribe and all of that. Mike, why don't you take us through your college football picks and I'll wrap us up.
Yeah, give me Alabama on the money line at Tennessee at -142, Nebraska at Indiana -6.5, -135, Kansas State -3 at West Virginia -130, and Miami -4 at Louisville -112.
I will take the New Mexico Lobos -2 at Utah State. And then give me Colorado State at Air Force. Give me Colorado State -7. That is it. We're going to make some money. Go check out the NFL show. We will see everyone next week.